Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, anyone who wanna learn more about SEO, digital marketing. Welcome. Today we are going to discuss a lot more about that because our niche is going fast. We need to adapt. We need to find a way how to keep bringing great results, especially sales. And I think today environment, it's not about getting more traffic. It's more about to keep growing business with sales. I'm so excited to discuss a lot more with Stewart Vickers. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
A big pleasure to get you. I spoke with a lot of experts on this podcast, plus 800 experts, including Neil Patel, Ren Fishkin, Lily Ray, many others. But I'm so excited to see you because you are different from many others. I want to learn more about you. But Stuart, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Yeah, started off as an affiliate back around 7-8 years ago now. Didn't really know what I was doing, that standard path that we all take. Ended up giving up and having to get a day job, but I didn't give up really because I was still commuting into my day job every day with the podcasts on, listening to Authority Hacker, Niche Pursuits, all of those, continuing to improve my skills over time. So with that, eventually I did get some of my own sites working, then actually use that to pitch my day job and say, we should be doing SEO. And that worked out really well. And then it was a natural progression of, well, I've done it for this company, this client, why don't I go out and get some more clients? So 2022, that's when I started my agency, largely based on in-person networking, but then always struggling to build online lead generation for the agency. We want that predictable revenue. You want a funnel where you can spend this much to get a customer that pays you this much. And in the agency game, that's the most important part, but also probably the most challenging. It wasn't really until late 2023 that I started on YouTube, just doing very simple screen share case studies and tutorials. And that just blew up. We got massive reach very quickly. Ended up becoming fairly well known within the industry very quickly, which was quite unexpected for me. As an Englishman, we don't tend to overhype ourselves too much. We tend to have a lot of imposter syndrome. But suddenly, going to the conferences and finding everyone knows you was, a transformative experience. And there's actually a conference that October that I ran into Julian Goldie, who, a lot of my YouTube comments were all saying, haha, it's SEO Jesus. I'm a heavy metal fan, which is the reason I look like this. And it was Julian Goldie who said, you should just change your channel name to SEO Jesus. Well, I've kind of been thinking about it. I've already got the .com, so let's go for it. So to answer your question, if you want to find out more, search SEO Jesus. I pretty much dominate that brand and search.
Yeah, I didn't search SEO Jesus, but I think like you're only one who can be there. Yeah, because for example, my tool youunmiss.com has strong brand recognition from another brand, and it's tough to compete with them. But I hope we can do much better job because it's like a big non-profit organization. But SEO Jesus is one. Stuart. You mentioned that you got first clients or probably get some clients from word of mouth or recommendations, connections. From my experience, I usually get the best clients from this channel. When someone can tell, you need to cooperate with Anatoly because he knows how to do SEO. And the biggest payments I usually get from this network. Can you tell about your experience, how you build this network to get these recommendations, especially for someone who is looking to get first clients or good payments? So tell more about building these connections.
Yeah, so I hate these buzzwords like your network is your net worth, but also it's absolutely true. So even when I was still employed, I was joining entrepreneurial circles on the basis that I had all these side hustles. So because of that, I was already starting to meet people who are kind of doing similar things, other online business owners. Some people, they don't have that opportunity. They might go down to their local chamber of commerce or some of these local business organizations where I wouldn't say they're as good as some of the opportunities I had, but they still work. You're still going to meet your local accountants, your financial advisors, all these kinds of pretty high ticket, valuable services that are still technically local businesses and who, of course, need SEO. And even in today's AI world, local SEO is a really big opportunity. So depending on the exact niche, your roofers, your locksmiths, those are still very good clients and valuable niches. But in my case, it was almost like a ladder where you go to one networking group where, let's say it's $500 a year to join, and you have to be at a certain level of revenue, but it's still quite beginner friendly. But in that, you're probably actually going to meet people who are part of other networks, because these entrepreneurs, we all join all these different networks.
Yeah.
Find people who have got access to higher level networks. So in my case, I was with this sort of digital nomad organization, and I had a friend from that who was speaking at a private mastermind in Colombia that was specifically for 6 and 7 figure business owners. So that mastermind, there was only going to be about 25 people, but they're all going to be of quite a high level. So I applied for that and had the call with the chap who was running it. And while I was spending maybe $500 a year for the this online business owner organization I was in, just this one weekend, this one mastermind with this other group, that was going to cost me $2,500. Plus, I had to fly to Colombia and stay in the hotel and all that. So it was a big investment. But what you realize is, ultimately, that's cheap. I got in the room with 25 really good people. It doesn't even matter if they become my clients or not. They're going to know people. You're going to stay. You're going to make friends, literally. We're not in this for a purely transactional purposes. If you're going to an event purely to pitch, then you're not going to get very far. I just sold one of my websites, and I thought, I've got all this cash in the bank, this sort of launch capital for my agency. Now I could just blast it on Facebook ads. I might make nothing, and it's not going to be very fun. Or I can go to this event. This mastermind was whitewater rafting in the Colombian rainforest on top of the slideshows in the hotel. So I thought, yeah, if I'm going to spend 3 or 4K to go to that, pretty good chance I'm going to get a client out of that. But even if I don't, I'm going to meet the right people and have a great time.
Nice.
And that's the viewpoint you've got to have. And those people you meet, they might not end up signing up for another 6 months or so. But the point is, you add them on WhatsApp, you add them on Facebook, you grow that trust over time. You get reinvited, you keep going back to the same events. So there are a few of these groups I've ended up in where, yeah, it might be 2 or 3K each time I actually go. But then what you find is, by the third time you've gone to one of these events and you've met the same person 3 times and had dinner with them and all of that, then they ended up recommending you to their friend, who then signs up for 5K a month or whatever.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, I think like having these connections in conferences, meetings, yeah, it's so valuable. And I know many businesses just get clients only from this channel, nothing else.
Yeah, just the other week I was at Chiang Mai SEO, and generally I tried to pivot entirely away from that in-person model. I've really been trying to double down on that online funnel so that I can build a brand that's not entirely dependent on me. I'm happy to be the figurehead, but I don't want to have to haul myself across the world anymore to go and smooth potential clients. But I was at Chiang Mai, and I basically went down to the Marriott, to the hotel reception, and I wanted to give my own sort of private workshop. It's very common at conferences. Even if you've just got a standard ticket, there's nothing wrong with going to the hotel, going to the venue, or even finding a local co-working space and hosting your own fringe event. Some people are actually now hosting like mini conferences, basically the weekend before a conference. While everyone's in town, everyone's already here. So why wouldn't they come to your event as well while they're here? So it's very clever. You're not treading on anyone's toes. So if you go to an event, be proactive and host some kind of meetup, some kind of workshop. So in my case, went down to the Marriott. I said, how much for a seminar room? They said it's going to be $1,000. And as part of the deal, I wanted to provide some free beers for the first people to turn up to listen to me talk. So then it was around 30 beers on top of that. So at this point, I'm probably around $1,500 in the hole to host this 1-hour event in the hotel at the same time as the conference. But I can tell you that was less than 2 weeks ago, I think, and we've already more than made our money back from that. We had people queuing out the doors. We had more than 100 people there in the room. I gave a simple 20-minute slideshow and a huge amount of interest. Plus, I recorded it, so that's going to go out on my personal brand, out on YouTube. So don't shy away from these in-person events where you might have to put a couple of grand down, because as you say, the quality of the touch points is really high. A Facebook ad, no one trusts you, no one really pays attention. Whereas my sales managers come to me and they said, the quality of leads we're getting who actually know you, they're sold already. Whereas those who've come from the Facebook ads, we're trying our best, but it's a lot harder. You're going to have 10 times more results if you just spend a bit of money to get some people in a room.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Love it, love it. Stuart, let's talk about modern SEO because many things change. I mean, like for a few decades, we wrote a bunch of blog articles, how to guides, tutorials, and I'm not sure about the future of this channel.
No.
Even big experts can say that probably evergreen content that we know can be stolen by ChatGPT, Google AI bot, and today many users don't need to click any links because it's not the same when they read title description or they get the entire text on AI mode. And what is the reason to click and get more information if they wrote? I mean, like because AI just rewrote all this information. And I think today it's time to adapt. It's time to adapt to something else. Can you tell from your perspective? Because I get different opinions about that. I respect anyone. I think like someone can say no, blog posts still work great. We need just to provide more answers. Someone can say no, we need to avoid this format and pay attention to just bottom funnel because ChatGPT can't produce products, AI mode can't produce products. They still link and reference some brands. So your opinion about that?
So it's the bottom of the funnel that you mentioned. I've said this for a long time, even before all the AI chaos, even 5 years ago. I was telling my clients and noticing on my websites that if you write this interesting informational article, no one's actually going to buy from you. I worked for quite a major it wasn't a major brand at the time, but we turned it into quite a major insurance brand. And for home insurance, we were able to dig down and find all these niches of different types of buildings, different types of customers, and find these really good product-based searches where someone was buying a certain type of property, they'd been told they needed that kind of insurance, and the big insurers, they weren't going to go the extra mile to ensure that slightly more difficult situation where you've actually got to pick up the phone. In our case, this was a small brokerage, so no problem going the extra mile. So with 3 blog posts, we got to 50 grand a month. However, they then wanted to do the same for pet insurance. With pet insurance, you don't have all these different niches. You've basically got keywords of pet insurance, multiple pet insurance, cat insurance and dog insurance, and a few medical conditions. And that's basically it. And they're all extremely competitive because ultimately pet insurance is pet insurance. So I was telling them, you need to build links. It's the only way you're going to be competitive. But they'd had these great results from content alone. So therefore they didn't want to go down, they didn't understand this link building route. So I thought, okay, if you're absolutely committed to content, the only thing I can recommend is we go higher up in the funnel and start answering all these questions that pet owners might be asking, which is generally, can dogs eat this? Can cats do this? So the traffic graph went through the roof, and you'll see this with so many gurus in the SEO scene. They're always showing these amazing traffic graphs that go like that. But the truth is, this is all low value informational content.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the conversion of that was nothing. I can't confidently say that we've never sold a single policy from that, but it's definitely what it looked like from the surface level at the time. So that was way before AI. So even today, everyone's panicking, saying SEO is dead and all of this. No, just a certain kind of SEO where you're basically arbitraging, taking a search from Google, getting people to click on your website, and then either using banner ads to monetize or affiliate links or even both. Ultimately trying to get people into an email list and then hopefully sell them your product that way through this massive wide funnel. That kind of SEO doesn't work so well anymore. One of the biggest examples of that is HubSpot. They had millions of pages of content where they were answering questions like emoji meanings and interview questions and literally just trying to tick off every search term out there in the hope that 0.1% of those viewers might actually fill in the lead form, go into a funnel, and then at some point buy HubSpot. So on the flip side, if you can just go for those productized searches, like what I said about the home insurance for this type of building, then they're going to click through and they're going to buy. That page is going to convert somewhere between 10 and 20%. So that's not really changed. Everyone's getting very excited now about optimizing for the AI overviews. And that's great if you're a service provider and you're going to go to some big corporate like Nissan, Johnson & Johnson, whatever, and say, we will get you, you want visibility. And within your department, you need to show progress and KPIs, and you want that shiny object of we're now in the AI overviews. Okay, great. If that's your KPI absolutely go for that. That's a good service to offer as an agency. But if you're a business owner, if you're a local roofer, you don't need to worry about publishing all these blog posts or optimizing for AI mode. You just need to make sure anyone in your local area who is searching for a roofer because their roof has blown off, you show up first.
Yeah.
And if you're a product or a service, that's not changed. And even in the future AI search in 3, 4, 5 years, I don't think it's actually going to change that much.
Yeah. Stuart, I spoke with a few experts who said to me that they still use blog content for top funnel in order to satisfy this topical authority. I mean, like parameter, when Google can analyze content, if Google can see that you pay attention to specific niche, direction, to provide different type of content that can help different customers, users. It's not even about getting more traffic on Google. It's just to show your experience, expert in one specific niche. That is why they create this content. For example, in my blog, you can't find any article what SEO means. I'm not going to compete with Wikipedia or Moz because even if I have traffic, it's tough. It's really tough. But even if I have and can find resources to do it, I can't say anything with this keyword. But many companies still do this strategy in order to get this topical authority. What do you think? Is it a good idea?
I agree. So we still do that. But again, it was the same thing before the AI. I was not a fan of this idea of we need 1,000 pages of barely relevant content anymore. I was always a big fan of proper siloing, so that sort of hub and spoke model. So you've got your core service or product. Around that, you've got all the different related questions, different ways of phrasing, definitions. Basically, think about how in terms of Google's knowledge graph works, it's basically looking to map you so you've got that full understanding of the topic. So that I still fully agree with. I generally say for most businesses, though, that's probably 20 to 50 pages. And probably 5 to 10 of those are your sort of core commercial pages. And then around that, you've got your supporting content. So, and it's all interlinked into your main product page. So yeah, I'm still very much up for that. And you're right, it's not necessarily about the direct traffic. It's about getting your actual core pages to rank through the topical authority. I still think that's perfectly legitimate. But yeah, it's 20 to 50 pages, not 500 to 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
A few years ago, there was this big trend where people literally were pumping out these thousands of pages on a website saying, we don't build links, we just write great content, we're going to write hundreds of blog posts. They get this amazing traffic graph, but they never really actually show the revenue figures. So yeah, I was never really into that model. And yeah, today it's the same thing. But supporting content, absolutely. I've got a course I call One Page Websites, where it's about an exact match domain, AI content on the homepage, and that alone will rank very well. But we do generally recommend some supporting content, but that's pretty much it. But generally speaking, I've always said that if you were Google, who would you trust as more of an authority? Someone who's got 10 to 20 pages on a topic, or someone who's got 1 page on the topic? But I emphasize that it's supporting content, not trying to be the Wikipedia of your niche.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to create these pages in order if you wanna share this content with existing customers. For example, if you get a customer for SEO services and someone doesn't know what they wanna buy, just know that SEO exists, but I often see that. I mean, like someone, I use paid marketing, but I want to jump with SEO, but they don't understand what SEO means. They don't understand. They know just it's Google traffic, but how it works, which ranking factors can impact, how to create high quality content, technical optimization, link building, many things. So, and I think if you have such requests, yeah, it's a good idea to create this content for existing customers. It's not only for topical authority, but if for topical authority, I'm skeptical about that. I think like many great content you can create about medium funnel and bottom funnel, even for these topics. But if you have requests, it's okay. And I use top funnel for short videos on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, on YouTube Shorts, and it works great as well. So basically, you can get high volume if it's engagement, interesting, and it's not about SEO, but it can help to get trust, to create brand awareness. So yeah, we usually pay attention to that. Stuart, I want to ask about traditional metrics, especially meta tags. So basically, we created the tool. I showed before the podcast this tool, how it works. So inside the platform, you can improve your meta tags to increase CTR from 0 to 100. It usually measures. And for one brand in weight loss supplements niche, we double traffic from 100K to 200K. That costs like a few $1,000,000. But what we did, we just rewrote all these meta tags. But the last time I can see many experts skeptical about meta tag description, not about title. Title, everyone loves meta tag title, it's important. But about meta tag description, some big names can say it's useless. Google can write better, Google can replace it. And some experts even showed studies when they removed all descriptions, Google rewrote to another one, and it didn't change anything, or a little bit higher CTR. When Google replies to the same question, they can say, no, it's important. It's important for CTR. And even Microsoft Bing replied to this question, no, just write meta tag description. It's not like meta tag keyword that died like 20 years ago. Your opinion about that, about meta tags?
Yes, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think certainly, we know that Google rewrites it most of the time. But having said that, even if there's an incremental benefit of just writing your own, then why wouldn't you do that? And it very much depends on the individual business. So if you've only got a couple of pages, maybe you're a local dentist or something like that, then the chances are, well, it's not going to take you long to rewrite all your meta tags anyway. But what's the benefit of that going to be? Probably not a huge amount. Whereas if you do have a really big website with 100, 200 pages, then that marginal benefit obviously increases. So I think the best advice I've ever had on this is basically, if you are the machine can do it for you, but if you're feeding the machine anyway with exactly what you want, then there's a pretty good chance you're going to get some benefit from there anyway. So I don't stress about it. We don't commit too much to that, but it's always worth checking in. And if you can automatically improve and optimize at scale, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I got your point. And even if Google can rewrite some meta tags, and for example, what you can see when Amazon can write long titles, long descriptions, plus 200 symbols, and Google can cut this intent. But I check out a few studies that showed even if you write long meta tags, it can help Google to understand user intent. So even if it cut for users. So probably it makes sense still to write them, but some experts skeptical. So I don't know. I mean, like each case is different because I'm not sure that we can use one specific project to all niches, to all keywords.
That is very niche and SERP dependent. So a bit like what you said with the titles. For a long time, we were all trained to think like a blogger. And even on your commercial page, people were basically writing these long meta titles that were, best product name 2025, ultimate guide, reviews, compared, whatever. And you think this is a commercial product page. They're not interested in a review or anything like that. So I've had meta titles where we've taken all that out and we've just had, product name, keyword, and that's it. And that ranks so much better as a result. So, but as you say, niche specific and depends on the individual search result.
Yeah. Stewart, let's talk about something that everyone hates or doesn't like about link building. Probably it's really hard, but some experts are great with that. I don't want to deny that someone is really good with that. But what you can see, big companies that created own names don't use link building. For example, SEMrush, I spoke with a bunch of specialists there, and they stopped using link building because they have this strong brand recognition. Adobe paid $2 billion, almost $2 billion for this company. So it can show still that SEO is alive if some company can pay $2 billion. But for example, Neil Patel said about that he stopped using link building. Many other big brands don't use link building, but I think it's still important for new brands. For just created websites, they don't have any authority, they still need these links, but the main difference, what kind of links they need. Because if you use SEMrush or Ahrefs or any other tool, you can check out that pages have a bunch of backlinks, but we don't know which links actually work from all this list of links, because Google can say many times that old links don't provide any value. And many strategies related to skyscraper technique, broken link building, some type of outreach. I'm talking about just white hat SEO. And do you think, is it still working today, or it's obsolete, especially when you add links to existing pages? Because Google can praise digital PR, Google can say it's great to have links from new pages, but many strategies just to insert the link different ways, to having connections with special outreach to specific pages. And I know it's really tough, to use today a skyscraper technique or broken link building. You can reach out post thousand websites to personalize all these messages to get low response, low results, and not sure it works in each case. So your opinion about that?
Yeah, a lot of questions there. So the main one there is, I agree with you that big companies don't really need to build links anymore, and Google basically says, you shouldn't build links, you should naturally earn links over time.
Yeah.
Trouble is, if you're a new entrant and you're buried down at position 50, no one's ever going to link to you. Whereas, your big corporates, your competitors who have been around 30 years, they've been collecting links throughout, whether way back when it was much easier to get links. Even more recently, you mentioned about Skyscraper, where there have been some of these organic link building methods, which for a time worked really well. You produce some content, you pitch it out to all these media sites, and they link back to this valuable resource. But then it wasn't much longer later that these sites realize these links are really valuable. In fact, these agencies are selling these links for $400. Maybe we should charge $100 or $200 as an admin fee to update our content. So it's a constantly evolving battle, and what you can't do is sit on the fence and do nothing. And unfortunately, that's kind of the white hat dogma we keep hearing. I was stuck in that trap for years, thinking I can't build links, I'm not supposed to build links. If I do, I'm going to get destroyed and tanked. But then all that happened was I finally went for it, and my website traffic went through the roof. And it was like this best kept secret that turns out everyone says, links are really important. And it turns out, yes, they really do work. So link insertions you mentioned were a really good workaround there, where, if your webmaster is demanding $200 for a guest post, then you can basically go back and say, can you just update this text on your existing article for $100? So there are pros and cons for that. There are plenty of agencies out there that do rely 100% on just link insertions, which I don't really recommend, because like you say, it is a very big footprint. So at a minimum, you want to be editing the text around the link as well, so it looks like a genuine edit, not just banging in a link. And as part of that, you can actually include more contextual relevance, because Google is looking at the text around the link to get a sense of how relevant it is to your actual site. So you can make your link a lot more relevant that way. In our agency, what we tend to do is, some people call them power posts, this idea that you want your guest post to actually rank. So we use all the correlational tools. I know you've got a correlational tool within Unmiss, where it takes your keyword, looks at the competitors, produces a recipe for what that article needs to look like in order to rank. So we will write that guest post in line with all those recommendations, and even make it look like the journalist or blogger is actually taking the time to write an editorial review of your brand. So that really helps. If you look at the Google Search Quality Rater guidelines, they have what's called reputation research, where those quality raters are meant to go out and look at what people have said about your brand. So for some agencies, either they're just banging in a link, or they're doing a guest post, which is 300 words of ChatGPT content. We've gone further and produced an actual article that should actually rank for keywords, which makes that link far more powerful. And then for anyone who does land on that page, they get this sort of true editorial style review of this journalist saying how great your brand is. So multi-layered approach there. We find that to be very effective, because you can't get more relevant than, not just more relevant, you can't get a more powerful backlink than if you've got your page that you've been doing the link building campaign for, and you've got 10 articles linking to you and all of those are ranking for the same keyword, then that is an extremely powerful page. On the other hand, with the link insertions, you do notice you can basically find a page that is already ranking for keywords. So there is a lot of benefit there, and it's a big time saver. But I would just recommend mixing it in as part of a broader strategy. You mentioned digital PR. Digital PR is great, but again, there's this strange idea that if you pay $5,000 for a digital PR campaign to a New York or London PR firm, that's somehow clean and white hat, even though you're still just paying for links.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of those links are going to be no follow. Now, we know that no follow links work, especially if the page is actually ranking for keywords and getting traffic. So you've just got to avoid the dogma. No strategy is perfect. No strategy is imperfect. Well, all strategies are imperfect. Yeah, no strategy is totally flawed. A lot of the old methods like press releases and citations, they all work as well. We've tested that thoroughly. They're working especially well right now. But you want to layer it all up and mix it all in. Don't rely on a single strategy.
Nice. Stuart, we'll explain. And I have my final two questions, very important for my audience. And I know that the era of lazy SEO is dead. So I remember I was in this era. That was in 2008, 2010, when my loving method was to buy more backlinks that my competitors had, and we rank well with useless content. It's not that I had the goal to create useless content. I didn't have experience to create high quality content. So when I joined this niche, basically what we did, we just analyzed, competitors have some useless content, generic, we can create another piece of generic content.
It's that classic thing that you don't need to be the fastest runner, you just need to be faster than the slowest guy.
Yeah. And of course, this time is gone. Today we pay a lot of attention to quality. I think like from 2019, we changed everything, especially with this EEAT, Experience, Expert, Authority, Trust, when you need to provide real quality, valuable insights, something new. But I still see when people can listen to this podcast or read books or learn from blog articles, we have this short memory. Many people can forget about most insights for a few days. Sometimes for 1 hour, they can forget 95%. That is why I usually highlight one important element in the end of my podcast. Can you tell, for example, you share a lot of valuable bombs, but if you can do only one thing, nothing else, just one thing, what you can do to grow your project?
I'd say it all comes down to that commercial intent.
Mm-hmm.
So what's a good version of that? So a couple of years ago, I went to a conference and got talking to this affiliate manager, and she said, SEO content converts the best. We're going to give you a special 30% commission rate for our ecom product. So I thought, great. I built a website for it, thinking I'm going to promote this, make lots of money for it. And then, soon enough, helpful content update came along, and that got destroyed. However, 3 years later, I'm making more money from that product than I ever did as a website owner, because I'm now promoting that product on Reddit. Mm-hmm. So what's Google rewarding right now? Reddit is doing really well. So I basically got my affiliate link on there. It's disguised as what looks like a branded link, but it redirects to my affiliate link. And that made me about $5,000 last month. And this is just a hobby. This is not my day job at all. That was about half an hour of playing around.
Yeah.
So really focus on product. I still get so many leads coming to my agency saying I'm trying to start a directory or an informational site about, it could be an informational site about supplements or longevity, something like that. And I'm looking at this saying, I really want to help you, but there's nothing your website can offer that's not answered by the AI overview. Whereas there's a product-based keyword, I have a 30% commission rate with that product. I can use Reddit, I can use LinkedIn, I can use YouTube. Arguably now I make far more money as an affiliate just through my SEO audience, my email list, and my YouTube videos than I ever did with my websites back in the day. So don't silo yourself into this sort of SEO rabbit hole where you can only do blog posts and it has to be informational and growing an audience. You can really zoom out a lot more, think outside the box and be a lot more creative. But it all comes down to the actual product. What are people actually buying from you? Whereas just this idea of growing an audience and figuring out monetization later, that's a very bad idea. I wouldn't do that. Whereas I can rank a YouTube video on page 1 of Google within 24 hours. So in the right niche, whether it's Reddit, whether it's YouTube, it could be my product, it could be an affiliate product. Once you really understand the product aspect, then it doesn't matter. You can do paid ads if you want. You don't even have to be an SEO guy anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some brands that can just use paid ads, nothing else. They don't need SEO because they
Yeah.
get plus 1,000 registrations a day, from Facebook and Google paid ads. So they can start SEO, but for that they need to take resources from paid ads that works extremely well for
Yeah.
them. So yeah, I think it's the same with focusing. So some brands can focus on one specific direction and can kill it. Why they need to
Yeah,
switch to
for most
different
agencies
direction?
I know, most SEO agencies I know are really successful. Their
Mhm.
answer to lead gen is normally we spend 10 grand a month on paid ads.
Yeah,
And that's what I've been doing very actively for the last year. And we get so many comments saying, if you're so good at SEO, why are you running paid ads? Well, honestly, to get good SEO clients, paid ads actually work better than ranking, in my case, for SEO Agency London. You'll probably
yeah,
get some leads, but Facebook's got so many data points, it knows exactly who the audience I'm optimizing are. So that if I want these big e-com sites or these big law firms, then Facebook can go and get me those very easily. Whereas ranking for those keywords where you've only got the 10 blue links, AI overviews, and a load of paid ads at the top, that's a longer battle. So if I can spend 10 grand a month on paid ads to get those clients, I am perfectly okay with that, even if it makes me an imposter as an SEO expert.
nice. Stuart, my final question. We have some marketing like to sell in elevator when you have 1 minute to sell something. I have a lot of choices. For example, I have a lot of choices which YouTube channel I can watch, which book I can read. And honestly, I don't have time to read 80% of books that I want to read because a lot of great books. And I need to be picky and choose books or YouTube channels or blog content that can bring value to my site. So let's do for 1 minute. Uh, you need to sell in elevator about Stewart Vickers and tell what kind of value our audience can do to watch your YouTube video, to consume your content. I think you have a book, yeah, because I saw like best-selling
I've
or
got a few books here.
yeah, okay, that's nice. So, especially, I love reading books. Sell me for 1 minute why I need to read your book. So, what kind of value I can get and my audience can get to consume your content? Okay.
So the biggest feedback I get is that I'm all about testing and thinking outside the box. The main reason people come to my channel is they know they're going to get a strategy that a lot of the time they haven't heard before, or it's a lot more creative than they're used to. So it's very much about what works. I'm very much against dogma. Now, I've done more than 300 YouTube videos, so it's going to take you a while to get through all of those. However, what you can do, I've actually got a video on how to do this. You can use Notebook LM, which is Google's AI product. You can literally use a free Chrome extension, grab all my YouTube URLs, put it all into Notebook LM, and then ask questions with a custom chatbot that's already trained on all my YouTube content. So I've already done it for you. If you just Google SEO Jesus Notebook LM, there'll be a link in that video in the description to my own personalized Notebook LM. If you like what you hear there, then feel free to book a strategy call. And I've also got a range of ebooks and courses available to go deeper on the stuff I can't share publicly.
Nice.
Yes.
You still have 2 seconds. So you sold to me. I hope you sold to my audience as well. But I recommend to anyone to follow you on LinkedIn because I see you are active there to share some posts. So I prefer LinkedIn, but if someone likes more YouTube, I have my own YouTube channel, but honestly, I prefer to consume content on LinkedIn. So, but I keep filming these videos because I know some people like this format much more. Stuart, it's a big pleasure to get you on my show to learn from you.
And you?
I love this experience. Welcome back anytime to share more valuable bombs. Will be great to get your feedback about our youandme's.com tool. So I'll put to my homepage. Yeah. Any words to the end?
No, very good. And LinkedIn's good with me. I'm not as active as I'd like to be, but there's a brilliant hack. I noticed a lot of people were using emojis in their LinkedIn names. So now when I speak at a conference and someone gives the summary of the speakers, you really stand out if you've got an emoji there. So yeah, search me on LinkedIn, Stewart Vickers, and you'll find I've got the prayer emoji at the beginning.
Yeah, nice. Guys, I open LinkedIn account. I recommend to anyone to follow Stewart on LinkedIn. Yeah, you can see that many things are changing fast and you need to adapt. So our main goal today is to adapt much faster, because it's not like 10 or 20 years ago when things change. And many content creators complained many years ago that many things change dramatically. Not they change, things change dramatically. So and yeah, we need to adapt, we need to move fast, we need to create content according to bottom funnel, think more about sales, not about getting traffic. Visibility probably will be next metric that we need to measure, because it can bring sales. Okay guys, love you, see you.